I'm Kirsten and I'm an English language coach. But today I want to talk to you about something a little bit more personal, something that I experienced in my own language learning journey, because I think a lot of language learners can get some benefit from hearing it. It's not a big revolutionary idea, but it's something that I don't hear a lot of people talk about, or a lot of people give you permission to do it yourself. And that thing is this: small is enough. Not small as in giving up, not small as in lowering your standards, small as in the right size, the size that you'll actually stick with, the size, more importantly, that your brain can actually work with. So, I mentioned I was going to share something personal, and it is something that I do find a little embarrassing, honestly, but I'm sharing it because I think you might recognize some of yourself in it. Look, for years, I believed that learning a language properly meant sitting down, seriously sitting down, for 30 to 60 minutes to do it right. That's the way I was taught to teach English. So the process that I was trained in went like this. You read or watch or listen, you translate, you pull apart the grammar, you try to rebuild a similar sentence, you practice, you repeat. And that was what I taught when I first learned language teaching. I followed this structure and I really tried. I did it myself. I would try and build my own little mini lessons. But here's what happened every single time I did it. I hit cognitive overload. That is, my brain was trying to do too many things at once and it just shut down. And then I hit cognitive stress. And then I gave up. Not just once, many times. I want you to sit with that for a second, because I'm a language coach, a language teacher. This is what I do. It's my profession. And I still couldn't make long, intense sessions work for me personally. So eventually I stopped trying to. And okay, it's going to get a little funny here. I live currently in an Arabic-speaking country, Egypt. And I'm not studying Arabic. I'm studying Malay. Go figure. I spent time in Malaysia. I lived in Malaysia for many, many years, but I never really learnt the language there. Malaysia is our home, so we will be going back to Malaysia one day. And when we go back, I am determined to be able to speak enough to get by, and also to be able to learn to be fluent. So here I am, surrounded by Arabic every single day, but I am learning Malay. I'm talking to myself in the kitchen in Malay. This is what my sessions look like now. I learn 5 new words a week, just 5. If I learn more, great, but I aim for 5 for the whole week. And then I make silly sentences with them. Sentences that make me laugh. Things like, I like studying Malay. Wait, no, actually, I hate studying Malay. I watch children's cartoons. I sing the silly songs without apology. Is it slow? Yep. Is it the perfect way to learn a language? Absolutely not. But I'm doing it every day, And that matters more than I can tell you. So what actually changed? It wasn't my commitment. It wasn't my desire. It wasn't even my discipline. What changed was my understanding of what my brain actually needs in order to learn. When I sit down for a long, intense study session, my brain isn't just trying to learn the language. It's managing fatigue. I'm thinking about my own performance. I'm judging my progress. And I'm carrying the weight of feeling like I should be doing more. I should be further along now. Why is this so hard? That's an enormous amount of work for your brain to do. And most of it has nothing to do with learning the language. So I find that small sessions strip most of that away. 15 minutes doesn't feel like high pressure. Seriously, I don't have the time to get frustrated. I finish my session before I get to the point of, I wish this was over. And most importantly, I go back to doing it again tomorrow because it didn't hurt. The consistency of doing little actions, it compounds. Slowly, quietly, in ways you don't notice until one day you do. Now, I do want to be clear about something because I don't want this to sound like a message that you need to do less. Doing small actions only works if those small actions are the right actions. Doing random 15-minute sessions, picking up your phone, half watching a video, half reading a grammar explanation, that is not going to move you forward. That's just noise, and maybe you feel good because you're doing something. But 15 focused minutes on the same topic, building the same kinds of sentences, returning to the same material, that compounds and that rewires something in your brain. The learners I see making the most progress, they're not always the ones who work the most, who study the hardest. They're the ones who found a method that fits their life and they keep going with it. For me, some days it's 5 words and a few silly sentences. Some days it's a song. The point is, it isn't the size of the session. The point is that I don't stop. I know that my Malay cartoon phase isn't going to carry me all the way to fluent. As I continue to advance, the materials that I will need to use will get harder and they won't be childish anymore. I know that. But right now, this is exactly what I need. To move past that block, to sort of get past the resistance to learning and to build a habit. And I guess to keep reminding myself that learning a language is supposed to feel like something I want to do. If you've walked away from English more than once, not because you gave up, but because the approach was too heavy, that isn't a character flaw. You're not lazy and you're not stupid. It's just feedback. Your brain is telling you that the sessions were too long. There was too much pressure. It was too focused on perfection rather than just progress. Listen to it. Start smaller than you think you should. Just pick up one thing, one topic, 5 words, 15 minutes, and then show up again tomorrow and do it again. I learned the hard way, slow progress beats no progress. Look, if this resonated with you, then follow, subscribe, whatever you need to do. Join me on LinkedIn. I'm actually most active on LinkedIn. And I have articles where I write about language learning, the way I find it works. There's not group classes, there's not all of this stuff. It's no overwhelm, no guilt, just lots of practical ideas that you can use. And if you want a starting point that feels like what I talked about today, low pressure, a little silly, genuinely useful, I actually make English learning songs on YouTube here. I've got 31 of them up there now. There's some grammar, pronunciation, vocab, even IELTS prep, all through song. And the reason I did that was because rhythm and repetition works. And you're allowed to have fun. The link's in the show notes below. Check it out if you want to. Thank you so much for listening. And if you are learning English, think about just keeping it small. And I'll talk to you next time.